Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's Saturday morning, July 25th, 2026. I'm going to talk about a filter and scan that I modified. It's been in the software for many years, but I started looking at it and I thought it could be improved upon. So that's what I'm going to do today. The third quarter add-on is updated. You really don't need to delete your warehouse and chart views before you install it, but it's always a good idea if you want to make sure that you have exactly what I have, but you don't have to. It's not required, but it's very easy just to go in there and delete my warehouse views and also the chart views. So the scan I'm going to talk about today is the impulse reaction scan, and I'll show you why I call it that. It's using one of the introductory charts for new users that I introduced a few weeks ago, and I'm also going to apply it in a user smart group. So I'll probably use the dollar volume scans just to make sure that I'm looking at stocks that are trading a lot. As always, the market is your teacher. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. I'm not here to talk about myself, but I know a lot of you, and I know a lot of you are interested. I'm starting a new drug test procedure for my multiple myeloma. This is my 10th one in 10 years. So anyway, I'm still going strong. I was given 5 to begin. I'm on 10. I feel good. I'm doing really well. So that's all I'm going to say about that, just for those of you who are interested. Anyway, here are my quick pick warehouse views, and under my name, you open that up, and there's a lot of scans in here. These are my working scans that I look at every day, but under folder number 1, these are all scans that I have had in here for a long time, and I started looking at these, and with this chart here with the pullback on the short-term trend, you see the white areas on the micro trend 3 and 6. If you look at that, you'll see there are pullbacks, and what I mean by the impulse, I'm going the wrong way, impulse reaction is this is a move up. You can bring up a I'll use black wax. Yes. So here's a gap up. Here's a move up. Well, that's not a good color. Let's go to red. That's not a good color. How about blue? Oh, that'll do. Anyway, here's the impulse move. And you can see it. And now there is I need to go back to this, reaction move. And we saw it here. Impulse move up, and then a reaction where this is the 3-6 cross short-term trend. The white area, it goes negative and then it goes positive again. So with this scan, the idea is to look for strong stocks that are having pullback. They have a strong impulse and then they have a short-term reaction. I'm going to clear all the annotations, get rid of them so they're not on that chart. So this is a stock I'm not, this is VS, well, here it is right here, VSTS. I'm not familiar with it, but this is the idea, to get on a strong stock during a pullback. Let's look over here at the left. I'll just leave this stock up for now. You can see the relative strength is 97. The Kirkpatrick ranking, it's a different method of ranking, is 99. And the fan uptrend is yes. You have to have a positive fan uptrend. And here it is, the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 18. This is spread apart, which generally means that there is strong institutional interest in the stock. When it keeps going up like this, They buy all the dips. Now, here's a dip. Let's look down here at the short term. If you look up here, at the same time when I'm in the white area, the short term is down. I go into the green area, the short term is up, along with the other two. The other two have to be up. So short term down, these two trends are up. This is a medium term trend and the long term trend, the green areas, they're up. And then you get a little move here, not much of one, pull back, and then you get a move up. Let me tell you right now, it doesn't always work, but it is a way to look at stocks that are exhibiting a strong uptrend and are pulling back. I'll give you a quick look at the filter. Here's the main thing right here. The fan uptrend is up equals yes. I'm not requiring a group just to locate stocks that are not assigned to groups yet. And the long-term trend is up. The medium-term trend is up. The short-term trend is down. Is an ETF equals no. Now you can do this with ETFs. You could just change this no to a yes. Just out of curiosity, I haven't done this. Let's try it and see what we get on the preview. There's 35 ETFs. Down here is the number, which fit this category. So you can just change that to a yes if you want to look at ETFs. Okay. Now this isn't going to be a very long video today, but there's quite a bit of information in it. But I just want to show you that this works. Now I'm going to bring something into play here. I'm going to look at user smart groups, or you can use any smart group here. But let's look, like if you follow Gil Morales or Jeffrey or Larry Connors, whatever, you can, Steckler, Gallardi, any of them, this can be applied to any of these scans. But I'm going to go down into my user smart groups, the daily smart groups, and let's go down to dollar volume. So this locates the top 100 stocks with dollar volume that had a strong close. But there's all variations here. If you want to stick to the S&P 1500 strong close, what do we have? Four stocks. Let's just look at these. We know these are S&P 400 stocks. I'll click through to the warehouse view. Sort on raw combo. Apple is now you can see that Apple right here, very strong move up. And if you look down here at this, I'll make it full screen so we can see this better, and I'll zoom in to number 1. So it went down one day and showed up, and now it is still in a short-term trend. It's still down, but it had a big up day. Now you don't have to wait for this trend to turn positive again, but you're looking at this chart, you can see the fan is clearly in place. The 3 dipped down on one day, but what did it form here? It looks like a cross. I think it's a Harami cross, and that just shows that buyers were supporting this move down, and then yesterday money flowed back into it. Let's take a look at. If you haven't looked at these, I'm doing this along with you. But anyway, here is the green area, which signifies that the fan is in place. I'm going to bring this up and do the arrows again. Except, okay, here's the 200, and the 100 has to be above the 200, the 50 has to be above both of them, and the 18 has to be above. And you can see that if you look over here at this box, they're all above their moving averages. So this clear all into, I should just use alternate E, it's a lot faster. Anyway, this is pulled back, but look here, the short-term trend is negative on this pullback. But here is the setup. what do we have here? We have a test and a confirmation of that test yesterday. So in a mixed to weak market yesterday, this stock, Visa, it looks like it's setting up to go again. Now, as I clear everything, as I look back, here was a short-term downtrend right here. Okay, here's the impulse. Here's the reaction. Here's an impulse. Here's a reaction. That's why the filter is named this way. Now back here, you can see that the short-term trend was down and also the medium-term trend was down. If we look up here, you can see that. Same thing here, and then the short-term trend turned up. Now this wouldn't have been picked up by this scan because there's no impulse movement. There's no movement up. The fan wasn't in place and so on. But this scan would have been picked up with a pocket pivot scan, a VPOC scan, a 3-6 crossover scan, and then the 3 stayed above the 6. And what do we have here? We got into a period where all of these best fit trends were positive, except the pullback. I wouldn't really consider this. Well, it's everything is in place. No, it isn't. The 100 wasn't above the 200, so the fan wasn't in place at this point. But so the crossover occurred back here. So that's Visa, Royal Caribbean Cruises. Now here's your impulse pullback right here. You can see the pullback, move up, impulse, and then major pullback here as the short-term trend went from positive to negative and the medium term joined it also. And then we get over here and the trends actually turned positive, but there is no impulse here because the moving averages, and this is just the last day. So looking at it now, it's above the 3, the 6, the 18, and the 50, and the fan is now in place again. But this would have been picked up with a pocket pivot scan, VPOC scan, and let's see, the crossover scan, yes, it turned green right here yesterday. Okay, let's look at one more. And bank. Now here, down here, look at all these VPA flags. Test, no supply, strength seen returning after downtrend, strength seen returning after downtrend, and the fan is obviously not in place. Not a strong stock here, but this would have been picked up with VPOC crossover. Here's a pocket pivot crossover, and let's see, it's hard to see here. Oh, right here is a 3-6 crossover. But then we get up here, we have this huge impulse move. We had a one-day pullback here on the best fit, and then it turned positive again. Very short move up, and then a pullback here. And then here, but you can see all along that the fan was not in place throughout this. Now the fan is in place. That's why we get this green area here. So it is just digesting this move up here. This long move would not have been caught by this scan. So like I pointed out, it would have been picked up by other scans. So the whole purpose of this scan is to find strong stocks that are moving up. And I'm going to change this here. Rather than limiting it to the S&P 500, let's see how many come up with just, well, these are all the same, except, no, there's the Royal Bank of Canada and Snowflake. Let's look at a couple more here. What you look for is where the green area, well, this turns green. So the fan is in place right here. It's hard to see here, but it is in place. So it's into what's called an impulse move right here. Alternate A, I'm going to bring this annotation tool up. here is where the impulse move begins. And now we're getting a little reaction here. How do I know? Because I look down here and I see that this short-term trend has gone from positive to negative. So it's setting up. I really don't see a buy signal yet. Let's look at Royal Bank of Canada. You'll get the idea. Now look at this impulse move. Wow. This impulse move began here. Well, it actually began here, but if you're using the fan requirement, then it began here. But you can see that right here there was when money starts flowing in strongly like this with a pocket pivot and a VPOC and a 3-6 crossover, even though the impulse move was down, or reverse impulse, whatever you want to call it. This is where the buying came in on this gap up right here. And look at this spike. And then the impulse move began and it stayed intact all the way up here from, let's see, where are we? Right here. Okay, right. I'm looking down low where the short-term trend changed. Darn it, I lost it. And let's see, alternate A, alternate I. I guess I'm going to have to look down here at the bottom. Over 66 periods, the change was 27.4%. So it relatively slow mover, but a lot of opportunities to get into this stock. So I'm going to clear everything off the chart. Anyway, that is a pretty good example. These white areas here where the long-term trend and the medium-term trend remained intact, but a little pullback here and then a move up is where you'd want to get into a stock like this. Okay, I need to close this. I need to clear everything again, get rid of that, and then I won't mark it up anymore. But that's it. That should give you a really good idea. But you can go in to any of these groups and see if there are opportunities. I kind of like that dollar volume because you know that there's a lot of activity in here, but you can jump into, go to market analysis user groups. I like to look at the major markets plus. You can actually see it on the indexes too. Let's look at the mid 600s. So it works on indexes also. I'm going to remove the filter with my shift key. Hit the wrong thing. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the NASDAQ 100. Wow. You can see it worked great to here, and then it got choppy. It was working here, but on this short-term trend, you can see that ended right here, and it's been going down since. Okay, that's it for today's video. It went a little longer than I thought, but I hope you got some good information out of it. Thank you for listening, and have a good trading week.